introduce you. He is the boss model who became a boss agent at Eklund & Gomes, the king of New York new development. It's Alex Lundqvist.
You're too kind. Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Alex, tell us where you are right now.
I am at the Kravitz building, 75 Kenmare in Nolita. I'm actually in the soon-to-be-released beautiful penthouse B. An absolutely extraordinary apartment with incredible outdoor space, sunset views, fireplace behind me. It's just a dream apartment. And we just staged it, and we're about to put it live sometime in the future.
I love that. Well, Alex, before we get to your listings, tell us a little bit about this cover, because you actually have a very prolific career as a male model. You were one of the most famous male models. This is my favorite cover. Is it one of your favorite covers?
I do love that cover, but it's hard to choose between the ones. You know, they're like your children, sort of. It's hard to pick apart, but it's one of my favorites. I love. It was for World Cup, and I love World Cup when the whole world kind of comes together. And yeah, it's probably one of my top favorites for sure.
So, how did you go from this to this with Fredrik Eklund?
Long story. I bought an apartment many years ago and had a bad experience with my broker, so I figured I'd get my own license. I started helping out some friends here and there with their apartments, and then I sold an apartment. Actually, I met Craig many years ago at this charity event, and he told me I should start doing real estate. And then I sold that.
Did you wait before that? Did you ever consider real estate, or did he plant that in your head?
I mean, from the first time when from Sweden, Army service, went down to Milan and did a job there with Versace and Helena Christensen on Capri and shooting in these absolutely amazing buildings. So just like I fell in love with fashion, I fell in love with these beautiful architecture. And so I was always really intrigued in all the years of shooting, you know, with Boss in the most amazing properties, houses all around the world. I really fell in love with that as well. So I mean, if there's one thing I could go back and tell myself when I first got to New York, was buy real estate right away, because it's not only such a great investment, but where you live is such a big part of your life. So anyway, long story short, I meet Fredrik through selling this apartment of a friend of mine in Tribeca, and he then convinced me to come and meet the team. And everyone was so, you know, John, Julia, Susan, like they're all such just incredible people that I figured, you know, I always love to do different kind of things. So then, you know, I went all in, had an incredible experience with my first client, also from Sweden, bought a beautiful apartment here in New York. Turns out he lives a stone throw away from me. I went home for Christmas. He invited me to a Christmas party at 7 p.m. He had kids just like me. And I was like, this is the funnest dinner ever. Amazing person. And I look at the clock after many bottles of wine. It's like 3 a.m. at this point. So I was just, and he's so happy with his apartment. And for me, to make other people happy is such a rewarding thing. And then I started working on 75 Kenmare, which also is a crazy story, because a couple of blocks away, 20 years ago, I walk into this, one of the coolest lounge places, and I see this beautiful girl across the room, me, little shy from Sweden. There she is, love of my life, my rock, my everything. And I go up and say hello to her, and that's now my wife with 2 kids and a dog. She's half Brazilian, half Japanese. I'm Swedish. Our kids are Brazilian, Japanese.
I love that.
Swedish, and they are just raising them here in New York City. It's such an incredible experience. They're such inspiring people, them, and know so much about the world. And I could not be happier about that whole story. And anyway, so it's
come full circle for you, right?
Yeah.
Like
so that place went.
You're in a building
20 years.
You and your wife
place 20 years ago was Kravitz Place, and now I'm sitting here in Kravitz first building in New York City, and it's just, you know, it's easy to sell things you love, and I would love to live here myself. It's such an amazing area, and I'm so, you know, kind of grateful to Kravitz himself, the genius artist, that he introduced me to my wife.
Well, let's hop over and talk a little bit more about this Lenny Kravitz Design building that you are in charge of. You're head of sales over at 75 Kenmare in New
Yes.
York.
Yes. It's an amazing building in one of the most vibrant areas in New York City. And even now in COVID times, we're having new restaurants open up. We're at Zero Bond, not too far away. You're right next to one of my all-time favorite restaurants, in the Sheen. And I really, like, once our kids are in college, both me and my wife would like to move back here to this area. It's just an incredible area. I mean, there's a reason Kravitz always loved living here himself. You see, I mean, his design is just, I look at it as a piece of art. The way he talks about design and making music is like you put layer on top of layer until you have either a song or a building or designs. And his choices between materials and colors, I look at as a piece of art. Just like his music is timeless, I feel like his design is timeless. And this location is just so special. People love Nolita so much, and there's no building like this with the amenities, 24-hour doorman, concierge. Look at this gym he designed. It's like the most beautiful gym. And,
look at this car garage with
I call James Bond style parking with the Aston Martin. People have said Batman style parking, but it's one of the first in New York City 5x2 system where you just leave your car on the platform. It takes 60 seconds to get your car. Could it be more convenient than that? You can walk from the building straight to your car. So if you call your car from the apartment, it's down there waiting for you.
What's the range of these units that we're looking at? Because
so we have we have 1 2-bedroom left, and
that's it.
Penthouse C is also, yeah. I sold all the other ones.
How many?
I sold all the other 10 minutes.
Wait, how many units have you sold?
I've sold quite a few. I'm starting to lose count, to be honest. But I just sold 5 during COVID. And
incredible.
It's just so easy. I don't even have to sell them. I just tell them how much I love them. And, you know, and I don't think, when I speak truthfully how much I love these places, and I'm, truly loving them, I guess it comes through, and buyers just want to live here. It's like I said, I would love to live here myself. But I mean, just such gorgeous design. Andrei Kikoski did the exterior, who is an award-winning architect, designed on the Guggenheim, over 30 awards around the world. And then Kravitz himself, the genius, has just made this gorgeous design. And then with the location also, it's just
incredible. Just incredible.
We just had Kravitz on a big poster right next to La Esquina, one of the best Mexican restaurants in New York City. Giant poster and a new Saint Laurent ad that you can actually see from the building. I mean,
wow.
It's everything.
Owning that area.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
Congratulations on selling out literally 99% of the building. What can you tell us about almost? What can you tell us about Maverick, your other building? You said it's pretty hush-hush, but we managed to get a photo of it.
It's very hush-hush. It's an absolutely just beautiful building, 3 floors of the most incredible amenities. It'll be like living in a resort. And it's in Chelsea. You're close to Hudson Yards, but you're still close to any transportation, anywhere you need to go in New York City. And it's just amazing. It's on the website, MAVERICKChelsea.com. You can sign up because we haven't done anything yet, but the showroom is actually overlooking the building, and anyone buying there will be, I think, very, very happy. Unbelievable views. It's
when is it launching? Like, what's your time?
It's soon.
Soon. Oh, we got a soon from him. Okay, well, that's the Maverick in New York. I mean, we can't talk about you, Alex, and your illustrious career in new development real estate in New York without showing some of these incredible modeling photos of you.
That was the first job.
Oh, this was your first job?
Yeah, that was my first job with Bruce Weber, Helena Christensen, who's from Denmark. I mean, it was like crazy. In Capri, the beautiful island outside of.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's like, and then I came to New York City, fell in love with New York City, the energy, the people, and everything. And the next one is with the, legendary Richard Avedon, who is just also a complete artist for Versace again. I mean, I've just been so lucky working with the most incredibly inspiring people ever. And now with Frederick and John and the whole team that are so just incredibly talented, professional, and inspiring. So I feel like it's been, you know, when you're done with this life journey, I'm really loving what I'm looking back at. So, yeah,
well, I think I think
yeah.
the secret to your success, if I was to guess, is your energy and your positive outlook on life, and you kind of attract those into your life. And that's why Frederick, John, and Julia love you so much. Frederick, I was with him yesterday, and he just sang your praises all day. But I can't. I think it's your positive attitude. Would you agree?
My dad was always super positive, and I try to have a positive. I mean, what is life if you're not having fun and being positive? It's very easy to turn on the news and get super depressed. You have to look at the bright sides of things and focus on those. And you know, for me, also another thing, making other people happy, helping them out, helping them to find a home that they love, because a home is such a big part of their life. It makes me so happy, and I go to sleep, you know, happy that I helped someone to find a beautiful home. I know for me, my own purchases, it's the best investments ever, not only on a financial level, but you have to be happy in your house. So seeing people define places where they love living, it's such a big reward for me.
I love that so much, Alex. Before we go, we can't leave you without you giving us some tips on how to model. We're all obsessed with Instagram and our phones, so we thought we'd ask you, how do we model a watch? I've got my watch here.
I mean,
you show me.
All right, just like I studied some acting, and when you're truthfully believing in what you're doing, I feel like it comes through, right? So I always, with my modeling, try to be putting myself in a sort of, I'm doing something, because if you just don't know what you're doing, so it's just putting yourself in, like having a real talk. I mean, you learn angles and whatnot, but you know, just really having a thought in your head, and I think that comes through and looks interesting. And who are you if you're not your truthful self, right? So studying acting, and my wife, oh, she's the best, and she's the most real person I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, she's like that's good. That's good.
I'm thinking about making money. Does that work? Or am I supposed to be thinking about time?
Probably thinking about, you know, what do I need to do next? Like what's you know?
Okay,
you
next one.
Because I feel like money is just a tool in life, right?
Yeah,
that helps you along the way. But you know, that person or you know, whatever it might be. But when you're really forgetting about the camera, forgetting about something like that, and just really being in the moment, it comes through. And I always, when I look at the camera, I always imagine that I'm looking at someone, whether it's someone I love, whether it's someone, you know, whatever the thought might be, but when you're truthfully feeling like I'm looking at something, that comes through, I think, in the lens or in you know, you got to be truthful. That's, I tell my kids always, treat people how you want to get treated, and be yourself, because if you're not yourself, who are you, and who do they get to know? So to really connect to people, you just got to be yourself and be kind to people. And so much, you know, by giving a little encouragement or a compliment to someone, as long as it's truthful, I feel like it gives me so much back.
I love that so much. Alex, I know you've got showings to get to over at Kenmare, so I'm going to let you go, but I want to thank you for teaching us how to model, telling us your life mantras, and just sharing your career with us today. It's so inspiring, and you lifted our Friday. So thank you so much, Alex.
Alexander, happy Friday. Thank you for having me, and hope to see you soon again.
I will see you in
New York. Have a great weekend.
Congratulations on all your success. Bye, Alex.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alexander.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's incredible. I love his positive approach to everything he does in life. I think he does attract everything. Thank you, Alex, for coming on the show. Thank you, Eklund and Gomes, for introducing us to Alex. And check out Maverick in New York, and also the Kenmare. There's only 2 units left. I'm Alexander Ali, your host of Real Talk, and we will see you again next week. Thank you all for joining us. And once again, thanks for keeping it Real Talk. Bye-bye.